finding more ways to talk about other things, because I think human design is an amazing tool, but it's not everything, right?
Right.
It can be enough, but
it's just another thread in the tapestry that weaves into all the other tools that we're all exploring, right? Because it's not just this one piece, although it really does lead you towards the gold mine, if you will. But along the way, if you still dive into astrology or numerology or going into the records or doing energy, it's like all of these different aspects of the truth are interwoven. And to me, that's part of my experiment, is seeing these other pieces and how they overlay and how they actually work really good together and give like another depth to your own story and truth of who you are.
Yeah. And so for me, I feel like I got this big old ring hitting on the counter. I feel like it's been really huge for me to get to a point where I had enough self-trust, and human design has taken me there with a lot of other work, but it's been the thing that's allowed me to, like you said early on about realizing that you are a projector who's meant to go so inward, which, a lot of people don't get those conundrums, as, Karen would refer to them, where, you're meant to do all this investigation and trial and error on your own, but you're here for the other as a projector, right? And you're emotional, so you have to wait for the clarity. And for me, so long, even in my experiment, waiting for the clarity meant figuring it out or waiting until I knew. Like, I didn't really get that in my body until recently. And so I think when you get the foundation of what human design teaches you about yourself, like to trust and be able to be just present with oh, I don't know yet, and that's okay, then you can open those other doors as you start to get ready. But until you get that foundation of this is who I am and how I'm meant to operate, right?
Right.
And everybody wants to just get their chart and then start opening doors.
Well, and we think it's a mental piece. We think it's because it's very knowledge driven. There's so much information, right? You get your chart and you're like, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this is. And so it is that game of like, oh, I need to know what this means and this means. And so then we start living from the head, which is really where we're not supposed to be. And we realize that. And that's part of my design. So head ajna, 6447, in the body, 3740, solar plexus to the will. Well, guess where I lived my whole life? Here. Right. Of course, makes sense. I went into the accounting world. It is all knowledge driven. It is knowing all kinds of strategy. It's knowing what to do and information, pulling all these pieces. I had to then go with my 1-3 into the exploration of actually going into my body. And this is what I see for clients. This is what happens for every single one of us. The magic of the chart, that blueprint, something already like opens up. Right? A whole new dimension within yourself opens that you cannot unsee who you are. You cannot unsee the parts of yourself that now God, source, universe is going to bring the test to see, are you, like for me personally, am I going to go in my solar plexus and have an emotional experience? And guess what? For the longest time, I could think I was feeling and then not really be feeling. And so there were deaths and different parts of life that happened to open me up where suddenly, right, I'm crying and I can't stop it. And that's very real, where that's the emotional piece, where once you just have these emotions, you are in it, you're with it, you're feeling them, they're guiding you. And because I repressed it forever, it's like physically, I had issues in my lungs because I always held everything here in my chest. My core wound is rejection, which is still tied to this heart chakra. I hunched over. So it's like physically, emotionally, mentally, all the stuff starts to unravel. And that's me on my own personal journey. And along the way, sharing it, guiding people where they are, saying, it's okay. This is the cleansing. This is what we're all here to do, to release, so that we really are moving into this higher vibration.
Yeah. That's really cool.